There's a quiet feeling that rises inside when life feels too loud, when everything moves too fast, when the world demands you to chase, to prove, to perform. That feeling isn't weakness, it's your soul's way of whispering, there must be something more than this. In a world that teaches people to react before they think, to speak before they understand, to want more before they even know what they have, stillness has become rare. Calmness has become rebellion. And yet, inside that stillness lies the one thing modern society is trying to erase: the Stoic mindset. This world thrives when minds are restless. It grows powerful when people doubt themselves, when emotions run wild, when the need for approval becomes endless. Because a distracted mind is a controlled mind. But a Stoic mind, a mind that sees clearly, that pauses before reacting, that chooses peace over chaos. That kind of mind cannot be manipulated. It stands still when the storm rages. It chooses silence when the world screams. It acts with reason when others crumble under emotion. And that is why, in today's age of noise, the Stoic mindset is disappearing. Not because it is weak, but because it is dangerous to a world that feeds on confusion. There's something sacred about regaining control of the self. Not control of others, not control of circumstances, but mastery over one's inner world. The Stoics called it the ultimate freedom, the ability to remain unmoved by what does not belong to your will. To look at the chaos outside and say, "You do not define me." This kind of peace doesn't make you numb, it makes you powerful. Because true power is not in how loud you are, but in how calm you stay. Think about how often modern life pulls you away from yourself. Every sound, every scroll, every comparison, each one steals a piece of your attention, a fragment of your peace. People begin their mornings already overwhelmed by things they cannot control. They wake up, reach for their phones, and absorb hundreds of emotions that aren't even theirs. The body tenses, the breath shortens, and the mind starts to race before the day even begins. And slowly, this becomes normal, living in reaction instead of intention. But what Stoicism reminds us is simple. Nothing outside has the power to disturb you unless you give it permission. The body may be in motion, but the mind can remain still. The world may demand urgency, but the soul can remain patient. You are not what happens to you. You are how you respond to what happens to you. This single truth, if lived daily, changes everything. The modern world has many tools to make people forget this. It rewards outrage more than reflection. It celebrates noise more than wisdom. It pushes the idea that strength is found in dominance, when in reality, Stoic strength is found in self-control. True confidence doesn't shout, it breathes. It doesn't demand attention, it holds presence. It doesn't chase validation, it stands in quiet certainty. There's a beauty in simplicity that modern life has made easy to overlook. Stoicism calls us back to it, to find peace in the small things, to value the invisible victories. The moment you choose not to argue, the moment you let go of a thought that brings no peace, the moment you decide not to take something personally. These are the moments society doesn't see, but your soul feels deeply, because those moments are where your strength is being built. When people lose touch with this inner strength, they begin to depend on the outer world to define them. They seek their worth through others' approval, through possessions, through endless comparison. But no matter how much they chase, peace never arrives. Because peace cannot be bought or borrowed, it must be built. That's what Stoicism teaches, to stop waiting for life to become calm, and instead become the calm within life. Now pause for a moment and breathe. Let the breath remind you that even now, amidst all the noise, there is something you can control, the rhythm of your own being. Notice how every slow breath calms the body, softens the mind, and steadies the heart. This is not philosophy to read about. It's something to live, to practice with each inhale and exhale. The world will always try to convince you that peace means disengagement, that emotional control means lack of passion. But that's a misunderstanding. Stoicism doesn't ask you to stop feeling. It teaches you how to stop suffering through feelings you can't change. It's about understanding emotions, not suppressing them. It's about transforming reaction into reflection and pain into purpose. At the center of Stoic wisdom lies one simple principle: control what is within and accept what is not. Everything else flows from this truth. When this understanding takes root, it brings a new way of living, one that feels lighter, more intentional, more grounded. You start to realize that you do not need to chase peace. You need only to stop resisting what is beyond your reach.
Many people suffer not because of what happens to them, but because of the stories their minds tell about what happens. A harsh word becomes a wound. A delay becomes failure. A change becomes loss. Yet all of this exists only in the perception. The Stoic mindset rewrites that perception. It doesn't deny what happens, but it denies the power of external things to decide your worth or peace. To live this way means to train the mind daily, to notice when it wants to control what it cannot, to notice when it feeds on fear, to notice when it confuses emotion with truth. Each moment of awareness becomes a small victory. Each small victory builds resilience, and resilience becomes peace. The body responds to this mindset. The breath deepens, the shoulders relax, the heartbeat steadies. The connection between thought and body is real. Your physical state mirrors your inner dialogue. So when the mind learns to pause, the body begins to heal. When the thoughts soften, tension melts away. This is why Stoicism isn't cold philosophy. It's living medicine for the heart and mind. Society will never stop testing this. It will continue to push urgency, competition, and emotional reaction. It will continue to reward those who shout loudest and punish those who move slowly. But Stoicism teaches that inner speed is not the same as outer speed. The world can rush, but your spirit doesn't have to. You can move with calm precision, grounded, steady, awake. Think of your mind as a river. Modern life throws stones into it constantly, distractions, opinions, fears. Without awareness, the water becomes cloudy. Stoic awareness is like letting the sediment settle. The river clears, the reflection returns. In that stillness, clarity appears. And clarity is what modern society cannot stand because clarity makes people free. The Stoic mindset, then, is not about living without emotion. It's about living without attachment to emotion. It's not about pretending everything is fine. It's about trusting that you have the strength to stay centered even when things are not fine. It's not about denying the storm, but learning how to stand within it, unmoved, unbroken, unafraid. This way of living is what makes Stoicism timeless. It doesn't depend on religion, on status, on wealth, or on approval. It depends only on self-awareness and discipline, two qualities that modern comfort tries to erase. Because comfort loves dependency. It loves when people need constant distraction to feel okay. But Stoic peace grows when there is silence, stillness, solitude. It's in those quiet moments that you meet yourself again, without titles, without masks, without noise. If you notice, most of what modern society sells is built on fear. Fear of missing out, fear of aging, fear of not being enough. Fear is profitable. Calmness is not. That is why Stoic calm feels almost like rebellion today. To be grounded in a world that thrives on anxiety is an act of quiet strength. To walk peacefully among those running aimlessly is an act of inner wisdom. The Stoic way is not about escaping the world. It's about mastering your experience within it. Every external event becomes a lesson in inner response. Every challenge becomes a teacher, and slowly you begin to realize peace isn't something the world can give or take, it's a choice renewed every moment. The moment you understand this, life begins to feel different. The noise may still exist, but it doesn't penetrate as deeply. The chaos may still swirl, but it no longer shakes your foundation. You begin to act from understanding, not impulse. And this calm confidence radiates silently through your voice, your posture, your presence. Others feel it even if they can't name it. That's the beauty of Stoicism. It doesn't make you louder, it makes you clearer. It doesn't remove challenges, it changes your relationship with them. It doesn't ask you to escape pain, it teaches you to use it as a doorway to strength. This is what modern society doesn't understand, that the real revolution begins not outside, but within. And once you begin to live from that space of inner steadiness, nothing outside can easily shake you again, because when you master the inner world, you master the only world that truly matters.
When you begin to see the world through a quieter lens, you start to notice something that most overlook. The world is not designed to make you peaceful. It's designed to make you restless. It feeds on your reactions, it thrives on your emotional energy, and it shapes your behavior through constant comparison and urgency. This is the hidden pattern of modern life. Keep minds busy so they never have time to meet themselves. Keep emotions high so wisdom stays silent. But the Stoic path reveals this truth with calm simplicity. The real freedom you're seeking is not out there, it's the quiet space within you that the world keeps distracting you from. This is why the Stoic mindset feels rare. It doesn't align with the world's pace. It doesn't obey the pressure to always react, always respond, always rush. Instead, it listens. It breathes. It observes. When you slow down in this way, you begin to notice how noise has shaped you, how thoughts come and go like waves, and how emotions rise only to fall again if you stop feeding them. Stoic awareness invites you to become the still ocean beneath those waves. Society wants you to believe that control means dominating the outer world, but Stoicism teaches that true control is gentler. It's the ability to choose your inner state no matter what happens outside. This is where strength becomes quiet. You don't need to fight everything. You need to see clearly what is yours to guide and what isn't. The Stoics understood that life will always test you through things beyond your control. People's opinions, unexpected losses, sudden changes, time itself. The wise response is not resistance, it's acceptance combined with thoughtful action. When you practice this, peace starts to feel less like an ideal and more like a decision you can make moment by moment. The mind learns that it doesn't need to win every battle. It just needs to understand which battles are worth fighting. This is the heart of Stoic freedom. Consider how often tension builds from trying to control what cannot be controlled, like wanting others to understand you perfectly, wanting life to follow a certain plan, wanting the past to have been different. Each of these desires pulls your energy away from the present moment, the only space where calm truly lives. When you let go of those unchangeable things, something amazing happens. The body relaxes, the mind clears, and you feel yourself return to balance. The Stoic principle of control what you can, accept what you can't is not a line to repeat. It's a way of being that transforms your entire presence. It allows you to stand in the middle of the storm and still feel steady. It gives you power not by changing life, but by changing your relationship with life. This understanding softens the body too. You begin to notice how every thought carries energy. Negative thoughts tighten the muscles, shorten the breath, quicken the pulse. Calm thoughts ease the body into alignment. The Stoics didn't separate mind and body, they saw them as one system. A calm mind creates a calm body, and a calm body strengthens the calm mind. Each supports the other. This connection is often ignored today. People look for peace in outer fixes, distractions, purchases, validation, while the real solution sits quietly in their own breathing, waiting to be noticed. The Stoic mind turns inward and asks simple but powerful questions. What part of this moment is within my control? What part must I release? This gentle awareness becomes the doorway to peace. To live by this wisdom, you don't need a perfect environment. You need daily practice. You can apply Stoicism anywhere, when stuck in traffic, when misunderstood, when uncertain about the future. Each of these moments is an invitation to observe rather than react. When irritation arises, pause. When fear whispers, breathe. When anger wants to speak for you, stay silent long enough to let reason return. This is what Stoicism looks like in real life, not cold detachment, but quiet composure. It's the strength to choose your response instead of being dragged by impulse. It's the moment you decide that peace is more valuable than being right, that clarity is more valuable than control, that patience is more powerful than pride.
You might notice how this mindset slowly changes everything. Relationships become softer because you listen more deeply. Work becomes more meaningful because you're no longer chasing constant validation. Even challenges feel different because you see them as teachers rather than punishments. The same world remains, but your perception transforms it. Now, pause for a brief reflection. Let your breathing slow. Feel the rhythm of your heartbeat. This is where the practice begins, not in theory, but in awareness. The Stoics often began their day with reflection and ended it with gratitude. These small rituals ground the mind and remind it of what truly matters. You can do the same. In the morning, before reaching for your phone, sit with your breath and ask, what is within my control today? In the evening, ask, what did I carry that wasn't mine to carry? These questions bring you back to yourself. Try this gentle exercise. When emotion rises, close your eyes and breathe in awareness, breathe out control. Each breath becomes a reminder that you do not have to manage the world, you only have to manage your presence within it. When practiced daily, this simple act rewires your reactions. The mind begins to pause naturally before responding. The heart starts to trust silence again. Another reflection you can try is journaling, not to analyze every thought, but to empty the mind of its clutter. Write about what you tried to control today that wasn't yours to hold. Write about the moments you did stay calm and how that felt in your body. These small insights add up. Over time, your journal becomes a map of your transformation, proof that calm can be cultivated, not merely hoped for. There's also a misunderstanding that Stoicism is about not caring. That's far from the truth. Stoicism teaches deep care, just without attachment. You can love deeply, work passionately, and dream boldly, while still understanding that the outcome is never fully yours. That understanding keeps love pure, work meaningful, and dreams grounded. It removes the fear that often poisons passion. The common mistake people make when first exploring this mindset is trying to use Stoicism as a shield to avoid pain. But Stoicism isn't escape. It's strength through awareness. Pain will still visit, but it won't stay as long when you stop identifying with it. Emotions will still move through you, but they'll pass more gently when you don't resist them. Stoicism teaches you to observe feelings like clouds passing across the sky, present yet temporary. When this practice deepens, you notice how fewer things disturb you. Not because life got easier, but because you became steadier. You start to respond from your center, not from your chaos. You speak slower, think clearer, and walk lighter. And that lightness isn't emptiness, it's freedom. This is the quiet beauty of living stoically in a world that wants you scattered. The world says, react fast. Stoicism says, pause. The world says, prove your worth. Stoicism says, you already have it. The world says, control everything. Stoicism says, control yourself. These are not just different messages, they are different worlds of being. Every moment gives you a choice. Join the noise or remain in your peace. Each time you choose the latter, your power grows quietly. This is how the Stoic mindset begins to rebuild itself inside you,
not as an idea, but as a living experience. You start to trust your calm more than the world's chaos. You start to value awareness more than reaction. You start to feel peace not as an absence of problems, but as a presence of clarity. So take this as an invitation, a gentle reminder that you do not need to become someone else to live this way. You simply need to return to the self that society tried to distract you from, the self that doesn't seek validation to feel whole, the self that knows peace is not weakness, the self that understands control is not power over others, but mastery over the self. This is the quiet revolution of Stoicism, to live in a world built on noise, yet not be ruled by it. To feel emotions fully, yet not drown in them. To move with purpose, yet not rush. To live simply, yet feel complete. The mind that learns this cannot be erased because it no longer belongs to the world, it belongs to truth. And from that truth, your calm becomes your rebellion. Your stillness becomes your strength, and your peace becomes your most powerful act of resistance.
When the understanding of this way of living starts to settle in, life begins to unfold differently. You start to notice that every moment offers a chance to practice awareness. Not perfection, just awareness. That pause between what happens and how you respond. That tiny breath before you speak. That moment when you decide not to take something personally. Those are the real places where strength grows. Each day is an opportunity to live with more clarity. When challenges appear, they are not punishments, but reminders. When emotions rise, they are not enemies, but signals. The Stoic mind doesn't run from the world. It meets the world with open eyes and a steady heart. Every difficulty becomes a doorway back to wisdom, and every disappointment becomes a lesson in letting go. One of the most powerful shifts comes when you begin to see how much energy is wasted on what's outside your control. How much of your peace slips away because of things that were never yours to manage. The Stoic practice invites you to reclaim that energy, to bring it back home, into your breathing, your body, your awareness. Every time you catch yourself wanting to control the uncontrollable, you can gently return to this thought: my peace matters more. And this isn't about becoming indifferent to life. It's about living with deeper care. Because your peace is the soil where love and clarity can grow. Without peace, even good things feel heavy. With peace, even challenges carry light. That's the quiet power of Stoicism. It transforms how you experience everything, not by changing the world, but by changing the way you move through it. Now, let's go deeper into how this looks in daily life. There will be moments when the mind wants to fight, to prove, to control. Those are the moments that call for awareness the most. You can use simple reminders to guide yourself back. When frustration rises, pause. When confusion appears, breathe. When fear whispers, observe it. These are small actions, but they carry enormous strength. A practical way to grow this awareness is through gratitude, not the forced kind, but the quiet acknowledgement of what is already here. Each night, reflect on 3 moments where you chose peace instead of reaction. Maybe you held silence when anger wanted to speak. Maybe you offered understanding instead of judgment. Maybe you simply breathed through discomfort instead of escaping it. These are victories of the soul, and they deserve your attention. Another small habit: before reacting to anything, ask yourself one question. Will this matter a week from now? Most of what disturbs peace loses its power when seen through time's wider lens. What seems urgent in the moment often fades when you give it distance. This question clears space between emotion and response, and in that space, wisdom grows. Sometimes the most courageous thing you can do is to be still, to not chase, not explain, not control, just to rest in the knowing that peace is not passive, it's powerful. The world may misunderstand your stillness, but your spirit knows its strength. Because while everyone else is fighting for control, you are building peace that cannot be taken away. A common misunderstanding of this path is that Stoicism removes emotion. But true Stoicism is emotional maturity. It's feeling everything, but not letting feelings decide everything. The difference between reaction and response is wisdom. When emotion meets awareness, it transforms into understanding, and understanding always leads to freedom. Another misunderstanding is believing that peace means the absence of problems. But peace is not the lack of challenge, it's the presence of a calm center. It's the ability to see chaos without becoming it, to feel the storm but not be carried away by it. You'll notice that the most grounded people aren't those who have avoided pain, they're the ones who have learned how to meet it calmly.
So the real task is not to remove what hurts, but to learn how to face it with dignity. That's what Stoicism teaches, how to remain whole when the world feels broken. To accept life as it is, not as you wish it to be, and still find meaning within it. If you want to bring this practice into your daily rhythm, begin small. Every morning, remind yourself, today I will meet the world with calm awareness. Every evening, ask yourself, what tested my peace today? And what helped me keep it? This gentle reflection builds a bridge between thought and behavior. Over time, calm becomes your natural response, not your effort. The takeaway is beautifully simple. Control what's within you. Accept what's not. Respond with reason. Act with love. And let your peace be the loudest thing about you. Even when life feels uncertain, you always have a choice to respond from fear or from wisdom. The Stoic path invites you to choose wisdom again and again until it becomes who you are. This is how the quiet mind grows unshakable. And now, let this truth settle deep inside. Your peace is not weakness. It's strength misunderstood by the noisy world. The calm heart is not passive. It's brave enough to stay open when others close. The still mind is not detached. It's deeply awake. You don't have to chase peace anymore. You are allowed to rest inside it. You are allowed to trust it. You are allowed to protect it. Take a slow breath. Feel it move through you. This is the proof that calmness is still possible, no matter how loud life becomes. And if you ever forget this, close your eyes and listen. The universe always speaks in silence. It says, you are safe. You are guided. You are enough. You are where you need to be. Let this be your final thought today. Peace is not something you find. It's something you return to. And every time you choose calm over chaos, every time you choose stillness over reaction, you're coming home to yourself. The universe doesn't reward those who shout the loudest. It rewards those who listen, who breathe, who stay kind, even when the world isn't. That's where real strength lives. That's where your light begins to rise again. So stay calm, stay grounded, and trust the silence inside you. Because in that silence, your soul speaks, and it always knows the way forward.